Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the morning stretch. Tricia, Sloma, along with Matt Engelbrecht, coming to you live from our podcast room, as you can see from the upper corners of this very small room. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. We're missing Kirsten this morning.
Uh-huh.
And boy, do we miss her, because when she's gone, our producer's down to one.
Yeah. This is supposed to start at 7 a.m. And time now is 8:17. But
Not
at
all.
I think the
Not
train is moving out of the station.
all.
The train is going. We're started our Thursday. We got it rolling, and where to go from here, Tricia?
We're gonna go to weather first. But you did mention trains, and we do have trains to talk about this morning.
choo-choo.
We're gonna talk about the South Shore. That's coming up in just a bit. But we want to talk weather. And you know what? I think people are just being so spoiled with the warm weather right now.
Yeah.
I mean, are we?
A little bit.
Still above normal, right?
A little bit. I think going through what we did last week, it really puts it all in perspective. Like,
Makes us appreciate life.
this isn't as bad. In fact, some of the what I like to do during the B-roll footage
Right.
or during the interviews that we shoot in the newsroom, I always look at what the people are wearing.
Right.
Just to kind of get a sense. And we did that, the South Shore Line train story yesterday. Mark Peterson, he was interviewing one of the residents.
Right.
And he had a sweatshirt on. And I just thought to myself, okay, sweatshirt weather.
That's all it
wasn't
is.
Big
Around
bulky
here.
jacket or a hat or gloves. It was, all right, we're sweatshirt weather. Okay.
Anywhere else in the country, down south, they would have been wearing a puffy coat. But
No way.
around here,
Yep. Sweatshirt.
perfect.
Yep.
All right. What about the weather today?
Yeah, so there's a look at it. There's the radar. The big thing that we're going to be first alerting you to coming up next few days is what's on your screen right now. And that is what's coming. Now, there's a couple of things that we can point out on this. One, the amount of rainfall, looking at about a half an inch, quarter to a half an inch late tonight through the day on Friday. Look to the left side of your screen. You see Denver?
Yeah?
And that blue.
No.
Always are you saying no to the blue or no to Denver?
Oh, the blue. Because the blue means snow and ice, right?
It means cold air. And that's really the takeaway here is that what I'm trying to define are the two air masses in meteorology. You need air masses to forecast the weather. If you know where the air masses are going, you can tell where our forecast is going. So there is some cold air out there.
Where are we going?
That won't be here until we get into the weekend. In fact, if we go to... Ooh, I do have it here.
All over the place. We are all over the place. There we go.
So, yeah, the 40s on Friday and then 30s on Saturday. There's the cold air without the precipitation, Tricia. Without the precipitation. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think what is really something we all have to appreciate is the weekend is almost upon us.
It is.
There's a chili cook-off, chili tour in the town of St. Joe, Michigan. It's not all that chilly for chili, but it's going to be nice.
It'll be nice. And I think a couple of the chili events, it's not all in one place. You have to actually walk out and around. And this is okay. Tomorrow's not going to be a great day for walking, but the evening forecast on Friday, I expect it to be dry, but a little breezy as temperatures cool down. The wettest part morning and early afternoon.
All right. Hey, we talked about travel and when people are going to be hitting maybe some train travel. You're looking at our story from last night. This is Mark Peterson's story about the South Shore. Some changes that are coming. Have you ever ridden the South Shore and you take off from the South Bend Airport and then you take that leisurely tour through South Bend and then you finally get cooking when you're right outside of city limits on your way to Chicago. They're going to try to cut that down. It'll cut out about 15 minutes worth of time, and apparently there's 11 residential properties involved in this. Some houses will be removed. This is like a $112 million project.
Yeah.
So this has federal money attached to it, state and local sources as well. So, but yeah, it puts it up on the west side of the airport, and then it cuts through that little travel time through town. There's something like 22 crossings or something that they go through. But yeah, I take the South Shore a lot, actually. Do you?
Oh, gosh. Michelle knows this about me. I love the train. I love the
Do you really?
Because usually I'm the one that's going to drive into traffic. She's, of course, taking care of the boys, and I'm the one navigating through Chicago traffic.
Oh,
so
I know it.
if we get it set up, and we've done this before, where we grab breakfast in the car and we get to the South Shore Line train, we jump on the train, take that into Chicago, go to a couple of the museums, and then you still have time to get back on the train and come home. The boys usually fall asleep on the way back, but we see like deer going through, and I can actually look out the window and of course take care of them as well. But it's a nice experience, and I know exactly what they're talking about. That big red line on the screen goes all the way up, and you can only go like 15 miles per hour.
You're creeping. Creeping.
They call it, what they call it in the soundbite, the scenic track?
Yeah, the scenic track.
Route. The scenic track, scenic route
Yeah.
that they're trying to cut out.
You know, when my family, when we go, my sister comes over from Ohio, and I like to go to Chicago. My daughter lives there now, she and her husband. So when we go over to see them, or we love to take the train. And my daughter often brings the train home, and, you know, it's part of our travel.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I've gotten, I don't want to say complacent, lazy. I don't know what it is, but I know the leaving time from Millennium Park, and yet I always cut it close. I am running through there, and I know when I'm supposed to be there. I know.
People know on that train
But
or
I
at the
am
station.
running
They're watching you, and they think, yep, she took it for granted.
Yep, I sure did.
You need to buffer
You know what
in
I'm
that
doing?
time.
I'm grabbing the sandwich for the ride home.
I was going to say.
I go to that, there's a Subway.
I know exactly where you're
right
talking
down at
about.
the bottom of the steps.
Yep.
And I grab a sandwich and some chips.
Yeah, something to munch on while you're heading out. Yeah, and speaking of taking it for granted, so I grew up in Detroit, and then we were out in North Carolina for about 10 years. Train travel was unheard of, especially in Detroit. We would have loved to be able to jump on a train.
I would think they would
downtown.
have something.
What is the major industry? My dad always told me this. What was the major industry in Detroit?
Yeah, automobiles.
They don't want you taking a train.
They don't want you taking any other mode of transportation.
We've
got the corner on cars, and you will take a car, sir.
It's tough to get over that hump in Detroit, so buy a car. But this should be an interesting improvement. I know there's been talks down the line. Amtrak doesn't have a station in South Bend that they want to try to bring that back. I mean, it's an interesting development for sure.
All right. Hey, we have to talk about Caitlin Clark. What an exciting time. I mean, she is going to get her number retired, folks. These are her days when she was playing at Iowa. She was a Hawkeye, and that number 22 jersey is going to be retired this weekend. She became the all-time leading scorer in Division I college basketball. She took the Hawkeyes to 2 consecutive national championship games. And her pro career, of course, an Indiana Fever player, and that's what's so exciting. She was the number 1 draft pick. And, the jersey retirement ceremony is going to take place this weekend, and there's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to happen during the game, Iowa's game with University of Southern California. Actually, it's going to be a good game.
Good game, and we're starting to ramp up in that part of the season, both for college basketball in general, but also WNBA. They're actually getting a new field house down in Indianapolis for the Fever, and I'm sure she was a big part of kind of pushing that initiative.
Well, when you think about it, you just kind of sit back and say, what? They didn't have their own practice facility? Right. What? No, they didn't. Women's basketball in the year 2025 does not have its own. Many of these teams do not have their own facilities. So just keep that in mind, folks. And we're making progress, and it's all a lot of things.
Huge influence on not only the game, but we got a 6-year-old. He's playing basketball, or he's learning the game. I actually show him her form, with the way she shoots, as a way to kind of get sense. All right, this is how you do it. This is what we want to mimic when it comes to shooting the basketball.
Well, and I often tell young players, like when I, would work with some young players, because I love basketball, and I played basketball, and I coached a little bit of elementary.
That's right.
But when you coach and you're working with the kids on fundamentals, you watch some of these college women players, and it's incredible. Yeah. And you can learn a lot.
And she's a competitor.
Oh, absolutely.
My goodness, she's a competitor. Yeah. As a teammate, a leader.
Hey, look at these competitors.
Oh, there they are.
Notre Dame women's basketball. Folks, we have a couple of big away games that are exciting tonight. They're going to take on Virginia Tech. That game at 6 p.m. These road games are crucial. Now, Virginia Tech, not as much of the competitor that they're going to be up against this weekend. They have the Louisville game coming up on Sunday.
Can't wait.
So just keep that in mind. We got to root on the Irish.
Yep.
The game today, I'm looking again, 6 p.m. tonight. Yep, I was right. 2 p.m. on Sunday. Okay, so let's look over the stats so far. This team has won, 12 straight games, including starting 6-0 in conference play. I'm sorry, did I say 6? I meant 8 in conference play, becoming the last undefeated team in the ACC. Now, the last time they lost was back on November 30th. That was in Utah. They had a bad stretch of time in the Cayman Islands. I mean, I don't know what got into them, but they lost in that tournament.
I'm sorry,
there.
where were they playing?
The Cayman Islands.
I think.
What?
I think when you say they couldn't figure it out. You have.
You think there was distractions?
You have this. Yeah, but everything is coming together now that we're starting to get in the middle part. Later stages, March Madness right around the corner.
Oh my gosh.
As we get into February into March.
But these road games, oh my gosh.
Very important.
Makes me nervous. They play at home again February 6th.
Okay.
So in case you're keeping track of all that.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we need to keep
I
track of?
just keep watching these highlights.
Oh, I know
Get it,
it.
Hannah. She will. Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, anything else you need to talk about? We've got the Chili Fest tomorrow, Chili Tour in St. Joe, Michigan. That's taking place tomorrow in the city of St. Joe. They have their Ice Fest coming up next weekend.
Yep.
Cooler temperatures for that by next weekend. Because I know South Bend is doing their Fire and Ice next weekend as well.
Yeah, looking like the 30s. I think we get
that's
these
better.
swings
For ice.
and temperatures, out of the way. Next week, looking more like mid to low 30s for highs, and then the 20s for lows.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Folks, thanks for joining us on the morning stretch.
Thanks,
glad you
guys.
could join us. Do we have anybody chiming in?
Have a
I didn't
good
even
day.
check.
Tricia, it took us an hour and 10 minutes to get on.
Stop it.
And now
It
you want to
did
go and
not.
look at comments. That's going to take another hour to
No, I'm
figure
not
out where
gonna
the
do
comments
that.
are.
I promise. I'm
We'll
not going to
respond
do that
after.
to everyone.
We'll do it.
Absolutely.
Type.
Type.
We'll type.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great day.